Hello. This is Coach Les, and I'm here with Mr. Yarwood, and we are again doing our Matt Chat. And today we're going to be talking about 11 reasons why you totally shouldn't, the should word, yes, I know, coming out of my mouth, train martial arts. And we are going to start off with just basically walking through these 11 things. And I'm going to let Mr. Yarwood do number one. And, listen, we get it. Both of us do. That there are reasons why not to. So I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Yarwood, and he could start with, even though the martial arts. Over to you, Mr. Yarwood.
Yeah, so we want to kind of talk a little bit about tongue-in-cheek a little bit, but why the main excuses we get for why people can't or shouldn't train martial arts, right? We've pretty much heard all the excuses, and I have an answer for pretty much every one of them. So I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about some of those excuses that we get. A lot of the joy and everything that we get from training in martial arts is incredible. I love martial arts. I love everything about it. I love the training. I love the emotional attachment to it, all the life skill stuff that I learned, the leadership skills, the relationship skills, all those things that I get from training in martial arts. But as a martial arts school owner and instructor, I've heard a lot of reasons why people can't train in martial arts. First one is they're too busy, right? They say, surely I'm too busy to be able to train in martial arts, right? So it says here, so what if we have all 24 hours in a day? It says, I'm too tired to wake up just 30 minutes earlier so that I can train on my own. Who cares that 30 minutes a day would equate to nearly 3.5 hours of training by the end of the week? Screw that. This butt has a date with the couch and a Marvel movie marathon, right? You got plenty of time to sit down and binge on Netflix and go to Starbucks and do all these other things in your day. I guarantee you, if I sat you down with your schedule every day, I could find minimum 30 minutes in your day that you can train in martial arts. There's no way that all of your time is locked up doing other things. It's a huge excuse to not have to do something. It's a way to get out of doing whatever it is you don't want to do. But in reality, it's all about making that decision to prioritize your health, prioritize your learning, prioritize your training. So if you really, truly wanted to, you could find the time, whether it be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. I can find it for you if you want me to.
Well, I love what you wrote, and I'm kind of glad that you didn't read it. Is even though the martial arts can bring extreme joy, massive health improvements, and completely rewrite your future for the better, maybe it isn't for everyone. In fact, despite the amazing experience martial art training can bring, maybe we all need to quit working towards the best version of ourselves and just do something else, like eat ice cream and binge anime. Well, I'm a proponent for having a scoop of ice cream and still doing training.
Yep.
And, when we talk about too busy, I love what you say about the 30 minutes a day, because James Clear wrote a book called Atomic Habits. And in that book is one of my favorite things to talk about as a coach, and that is habit stacking. And, I'm going to cheat for you and share with you what we're talking about. Habit stacking is, hey, we all have habits. Hopefully, one of those habits is in the morning, you wake up and you brush your teeth.
Yep.
And as soon as you've brushed your teeth, if you were to stack the next habit called doing a little training, doing a little physical exercise, doing a little, I need to do 20 front kicks with my right leg and my left leg. I got to do 20 side kicks with my right leg and my left leg. I've got to do whoop, 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 whoop. And 30 minutes later, you've got a whole regimen set up and do some stretching in there as well. And that 30 minutes, you'd be amazed at what you could get done on your own, not on the mat, but on your own at home. In 30 minutes, you can really push the experience of that learning that you get on the mat and take it home and do it. In fact, there's a workout called the 7-minute workout. Why is it so cool to do 7 minutes a day? Because if you did 7 minutes a day, it's 49 minutes a week. And that's, if you did the 7-minute thing, once again, that health is so important. So from 7 minutes to 30 minutes, there's a space in there for you, and you can stack it right after brushing your teeth.
It's amazing how much you can. It's amazing how much you can get done if you decide to do it. You know, a 30-minute workout. It's incredible how much you can get done in 30 minutes. I trained with my instructor yesterday for 30 minutes, and he whooped me. By the time I was done, I was dripping in sweat. I was feeling good. It was awesome. I got my form done. He had me do 160 air squats. He had me doing all kinds of stuff, right? And it was 30 minutes. It was one of the better workouts I've had in a while. It's having that in your life to get that stuff done. It adds up. You know, like I said, 30 minutes a day. You know, you can get 3.5. How much you can get when you add it all up, and you don't even realize it.
Well, and you know, it's funny when people go to the gym, right? I go to the gym for 2 hours a day or 2 hours 4 times a week. And, you know, I look at that and I go, okay, so you go to the gym, and if I was a little fly on the wall watching you, you go and you go yakety yakety yak with the pretty girl or the handsome guy at the equipment, and then you get down and you do your deal, and then you sit and you wait, and somebody else jumps in, and then you do your next set, and then they jump in. By the time 30 minutes is rolled around, you've done maybe 7 minutes of working out.
Yep.
So when you do 30 minutes of concentrated working out on your own at home, you can definitely get a lot done. So the next one is number 2. Money is just way too tight. Sure, I have money to grab a grande latte from Starbucks every day, but well, that's only, and Mr. Yarwood wrote down $3.25 each morning. I want to go to that Starbucks where it's $3.25. Are you kidding me? A grande latte at Starbucks is about $7 when you're done. So, and that's 7 times 7. That's $49 a week. So, you know, if you could save that and think about that a week, 49 times 4, you know, that's a bunch. You know, it's crazy. That's $196 a month on coffee. Yep. And there are a ton of people that do that. In fact, there are a ton of people that do 2 a day sometimes.
Yep.
So, you know, you have a ton for martial arts available. Coffee and eating out tastes good. It's more valuable. Martial arts training is only going to make you healthier, more capable, and possibly live a long life.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, that argument gets used a lot. You know, you add up how much you spend every day in, you know, whether it's Starbucks or it's, you know, food or whatever. People, it's more about the convenience of being able to go out and do something like that. But we go back to that time management thing. How much time does it take you to go to Starbucks, stand in line to get your $7 drink, and then whatever, right? You're adding probably 15 minutes to your day just getting a $7 Starbucks, right? So take that $15 or that 15 minutes, save that $7, make coffee at home, and train for 15 minutes. See, I can find you anytime, anywhere.
Even if you go through the drive-through still takes time.
Yep. And that $196 that you're spending on lattes, you can use to pay tuition for martial arts training and go 4 days a week. and earn your black belt and become physically fit and mentally healthy and spiritually healthy and all those other things that go along with it. Having a grand latte a day, it lasts for however long it takes you to drink it, and then it's gone.
And people say, well, I need my caffeine in the morning. Well, think about it. You get up in the morning and drink 16 ounces of water with a little bit of lemon juice in it, and you do a 30-minute workout, you're going to have way more activity in your body,
Yep.
and you're going to be much more awake than if you spent $7 on a latte.
Mm-hmm. Too much work, though. It's way too much work. I don't want to do that kind of work. It's easier to just go get a latte.
Yeah. All right. Number 3 there, Mr. Yarwood.
Number 3, injuries suck. I hear this a lot too. I'm going to get hurt training in martial arts. Well, it says, you see, I sprained my wrist real bad. My knee has been aching or acting funky, and I stubbed my toe when I got up to pee for a pee break in the middle of the night. Diagnosis, I can't train ever. If I can't do everything, I can't do anything. I'm just going to forget about the person I saw training in a wheelchair at the seminar last year and not worry about the student in my class who kicks butt with 2 prosthetic feet. We have a student in our school who is in a wheelchair. She is a world champion because she came in, she worked, she earned her 2nd degree. We have a student who has issues on one side of her body that she got from a tumor when she was a little kid. She wears a brace. She comes in, she spars the big kids. She don't care. She's got a great attitude about it. We have a kid who literally had a brain tumor and has knee issues and breathing issues and all these other kinds of things. He comes in, doesn't matter. He works his butt off. There's no excuse. We have kids who are on the spectrum. We have kids who have ADHD. We have kids who have physical disabilities, mental capability, all, you name it, we've had it or have it. So there is no excuse that you can give me that's going to tell me that you're not able to physically train. Sure, it might hurt. Yeah, and everything hurts a lot. The older I get, the more things hurt. That just tells me I need to train that much harder because that training is what makes my body stronger to be able to repair all the problems I might have. There's just sitting around doing nothing, that makes things worse. It doesn't make it better. Your body is meant to move. It's meant to be active and mobile. That's how everything operates. And if you stop doing those things, your body will decay. And when your body decays, then you have more pain. You can get injured by not doing anything because you're not training at all. You're not doing what you're supposed to do.
And I'm getting up there in age. I'm turning 61 this year. And, people say, well, Les, you told me you've got arthritic knees. And I'm like, yep. So am I going to sit around and let them get stiffer and more arthritic? Or am I going to move and get the blood flowing, get the pain dissipated as I move more? And guess what? The more I stretch, the more I work out, the better I feel. Yes, they're stiff. Yes, they may swell up if I, go crazy. But guess what? They're going to be stiff and sore anyway. Yep. So I may as well enjoy myself.
Yep. The phrase is motion is lotion. Lubes everything up, gets you going. Yep. You stop and sit. You think about, like, say you have an old classic car and it just sits in your garage and never gets driven, never gets pulled out. What happens to it? It decays. All the stuff goes bad. The fluids go bad. The tires rot. The interior rots. Everything goes bad, right? You take that thing out and drive it the way it was meant to be driven, and it's loving it, and it just goes and goes and goes. That's the whole point.
I mean, I had a Ford Explorer, 1996 Ford Explorer, 5.0 liter, all-wheel drive, and that bad boy had 515,000 miles on it. Do you know why it stopped working? Because I left it alone for 3 months. When I got back in to start it, it didn't start. Not because the battery didn't have enough juice.
Gave up the ghost.
All the fluids, all the joints hardened up. All the gaskets got hard. It was really a bummer. And I took it to had it towed to the shop. And the guy said, I know what's up with this. How long did you not drive it? And I said, 3 months. He said, welcome to old age.
Yep. That happens to us too.
Yep. All right. Number 4, I'm looking for a specific style and I just can't find it. You know, I did karate when I was 16 and loved it. Heaven forbid I switch to a new style now that I'm older and can't find a similar enough school. Who cares about the teacher and how the class is actually run? I know for a fact that I only want to train with a school exactly like Mr. Miyagi Sensei's. It would be ridiculous to assume I could learn something new and enjoy learning a new style. Blasphemy. So, you know, for me, I'm a lifetime member of the AKA, American Karate Association. I became a lifetime member, loved my sensei, Sensei Robert Frisaro. And I was like, well, I don't want to do karate. Maybe because I'm older, I should do Tai Chi. Well, then I met Mr. Yarwood and got into Taekwondo. And, have I had injuries? Yes, I have. Is that going to stop me? Nope. It just has slowed me down from my original quest. So, coming from somebody that's been through the ringer, getting back in the saddle, jumping up. Sure, I don't bounce back like I did when I was first in Taekwondo. First in karate at 23 and 24 and 25. That's okay. Give myself a little grace and get back. And I love it and I enjoy it. And I plan on being, who knows? Maybe I'll be the oldest black belt in there. We'll see what happens.
We have several adults who've come from other organizations, and it's that same thing. It's like it's something different. You've already got the foundational skills to be able to do what we do, but it's just new. Maybe it's a new type of kick or a new way to kick or a new way to move or a new stance or whatever. It's just relearning something new. That helps refresh your brain too. Now, instead of just being stuck in just one thing, you've expanded. Okay, now I know karate and taekwondo versus just saying I'm only going to do karate, right? Learning something new is foundational to growth, right? And if you're never learning anything new, you're always stuck in that rut. You don't know what's out there. Maybe when you start training with taekwondo with me, suddenly you're like, wow, this is really cool. I love this even more than what I used to do. You just never know, right? So getting out there and trying something new, whether it be a new martial art or a new, maybe take a new route to work versus versus the way you always go, or whatever it is, change something up and see if it works for you, because learning something new keeps that brain going. So it's important.
Speaking of taking a new way, go for number 5 there, boss.
Yep. Class is too dang far away. I think this is one of the bigger excuses. Like, it's the excuse of convenience, right? It says, who cares about the people who used to jump through hoops just to prove their dedication to their training? It's the modern age. 2024 is about that convenience. I shouldn't have to suffer a 30-minute drive to get to my training sessions. Come on. That's just unreasonable to ask of anybody. I'll just stay home and spend 4 hours watching Marvel or watching Netflix. It's true. I think a lot of people pick a martial arts school if they do decide to go because it's the closest one. It's the easiest one to get to. It's just around the block. It doesn't matter what they offer. It has to do with how easy is it to get to. And it's unfortunate because they could be missing out on something that could ultimately change their lives for good and forever. And they just because one place is closer than another one, it's not on their way home, it's not on their way to their kids' school, whatever, they miss it.
For me, I've been a sales rep my whole life. Being in a car is one of the most peaceful places that I have. I can choose whether or not to answer the phone. I can choose whether or not to listen to music, or I can have silence. When people tell me, oh, it's 20 minutes to get there, that's nothing in the course of life.
Yep.
And one of the things you can do while you're driving is listen to motivational CDs and work on your brain as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of audiobooks while I'm driving.
So,
because my school, there's only a few people who travel further than me to get to my school. It takes me almost 25 minutes to get to my school from where I live. There's only like 2 other people who travel further. Majority of my people are local. I mean, I get it. Convenience is important, but sometimes that convenience, you're missing out on something bigger.
Number 6, I'm too out of shape. I think I need to train before I go train. I'm proud of my high cholesterol and type 2 diabetes. Okay, but maybe I should do some type of activity to at least prepare for the summer months. Thing is, martial arts classes are too hard. I need to lose weight first before I can do something like that. After all, martial arts are only for a privilege for superhuman folks. I'm pretty sure regular people die in these classes. It's obvious that people who teach respect and humility would be super judgy about me and my low tolerance for cardio. They've likely never started anything new. I bet they were born with a black belt, and their first words as a baby were "Kiai" and "No mercy." Well, I'm the one that I can tell you right now, I've started in martial arts twice. Both times, I was not in as good a shape as I could have been. And what I found is in enjoying martial arts and doing and learning, I actually got in shape. I didn't have to think about getting on a machine and pushing weights or going to a gym, and having to put my stuff in a locker. There was no fear of the locker being cut, the lock being cut and having my identity stolen out of my locker. So, all of which have happened to me in a gym environment. So I challenge people, give it a whirl.
I don't even, it doesn't make sense to me. I got to get in shape before I can get in shape. What does that mean? Like, I'm too out of shape to start training. Well, that's the whole point of training, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I'll tell you,
the gym or at the school or whatever it is.
You ask how many women, and I'm going to pick on you women totally, how many women clean their house before the cleaner comes over? A ton of them.
Company coming.
I got somebody coming to clean the house. I can't leave it like this. It's too much of a mess. What do you mean? That's why they're coming over.
Yeah, we've had several people talk about that. They've asked the question, like, don't I have to be in shape to do karate? What does that mean? In shape? I mean, at what point do you know you're in shape? What is the requisite for it? You don't know. You just keep going. So come in, start learning, do what you can, right? We only push you as hard as you are capable of doing, right? I'm not going to make you do things that you're not capable of. I want to make sure that you're getting a little bit of work out of it. I'm going to push you a little extra, but I'm not going to push you to the point that you're going to hurt yourself or you're going to want to quit. Well, you might want to quit, but it's just because I'm pushing you that hard. But I'm not going to make you do things you're not capable of doing yet. You'll earn that spot. You'll get there by doing the work, by being consistent, by showing up, by getting on the mats and just doing it. Eventually you get better at it. That's just how it works. It's not an overnight thing. You know, our school, it's a minimum 4 years to get the black belt. You don't just show up and suddenly you're a black belt. It doesn't work that way. Everybody in there starts at the beginning. When you start at the beginning, you have tons of room for growth, and that's where it all comes from. So just get in there, get on the mats, and do it.
The next one, I'm old and need to forget about having fun. These youngins would smoke me if I tried to join them and keep up with their karate craziness. I've already had my fun in my younger years. Why would I want to do something cool now? I mean, obviously, I don't care about benefits like improved stamina, coordination, balance, range of motion, and brain health. And let's just forget about people like Ernestine Shepard, the woman who ran 9 marathons and won 2 bodybuilding titles, even though she didn't start training her body until she was 56 years old. And Tony Robbins talks about his 80-year-old guy that he started on weight training. And he started lifting weights at 80. I think he was either 85 or 86. And he won a world champion title 3 years into it.
It's I think it physically has more benefits for older people. Staying strong, staying healthy, staying active, that's what keeps your longevity going. And when you're feeling good and you're healthy, your body reacts to that. There could be, you could have some kind of physical ailment in your body that doesn't allow you to do certain things, and then you take it into your head like, yep, I'm not able to do those things, so you just quit. Whereas in reality, if you start becoming physical and you start working out, you start training martial arts, your body starts to fight whatever it is that you're dealing with, and then you start to realize that all the training that you're doing is what is helping you overcome this thing that you're dealing with. Maybe you have some kind of thing that physically stops you from certain things, and in your brain you think, yeah, I can't do it. All of a sudden you're like, your body changes its mind and decides like, yes, I can do this, and it starts fighting off all the other stuff that you're dealing with, making you more capable.
100%. I've already tried it before. Nope. I tried it once. Didn't like it. I definitely never changed my mind about foods. I didn't like Tashi Kwan and BJJ, right? Heck, since I didn't have much fun studying karate at the rec center when I was 6 years old, I know I wouldn't like the Muay Thai gym that hosts teachers from Thailand to teach seminars. Here's the thing. You may never be Bruce Lee, but that's okay. You can be you and healthy and gain momentum one step at a time.
Yep. When I started, I was 36. My goal when I started was to get to the next class. I didn't have anything beyond that. There was no thought of earning my black belt. There was no thought of becoming an instructor. There's no thought of being a school owner. None of those things came into my head, right? I just wanted to get through this class and then come back for the next one. And it got to the point where it was more and more and more. I wanted more. I wanted more. Then I started setting my goals higher and higher, right? And when I was in 9th grade, I took karate for a year, right? And to me, getting back into it was kind of scary because, like, well, I've already done this before. I enjoyed it, but I was 13, so it's not for me anymore. It's a young kid's game, right? So doing something already once before doesn't disqualify you from trying it again. Who knows? Maybe you'll see it from a different perspective and like it even more than you did the first time. Because for me, You know, I love every second of what I do. Sometimes it really sucks. Sometimes it's hard. As a matter of fact, quite often it's hard. But that's what gets in up here that makes me want to keep doing it, because it starts to make me challenge myself to do even harder things. And it's something that motivates me to keep going. And I found that I get more satisfaction out of doing the hard things than doing the easy things. And when I complete something that's a huge challenge for me, a huge barrier, I'm just like, yes, that was awesome. And it makes me want to go out and complete even more of those things.
I'm a pacifist. I don't do violence or pain or sweat for that matter. I'm just not the type of person who goes around starting fights. Surely, violence is never random, and I bet if somebody did just that, try to break a glass bottle over my cranium, I could just apologize for whatever I did that upset him or her, and he'll start acting nice again. By the way, my sister doesn't need to do martial arts either. I mean, girls don't really do martial arts, and they certainly never kick butt all the time. You know, here's the thing. To me, martial arts is so much more than the fighting. Martial arts is about us having control over our body, having control over our mindset. And the amazing part of that is, wow, it is absolutely an incredible opportunity to take that next level of possibility.
Yep. I don't teach fighting. As a matter of fact, I discourage fighting. Our students, I don't want them to fight. Fighting sucks. It hurts. It's painful. It's not fun. You get in trouble. There's so many negative aspects to fighting. The physical training and learning of martial arts that our students get is to be able to defend themselves. As a matter of fact, we just had one of our little kid students, 9-year-old kid, out on the playground get surrounded and bullied by 4 kids. And they pushed him on the ground, and they were holding him down, and they were on top of him, messing with him. And he used what he learned in our classes to be able to get out of that situation and get to safety. And he took a few punches and kicks, but ultimately he found himself safe because of all the stuff that he learned. He didn't stick around and try and fight these guys. It wasn't in his best interest to do that in the first place, but fighting sucks. It's not a fun thing, right? You're going to get hurt, and nobody wants to do that. So everything we teach is about defending yourself, about getting safe. And if you don't have to use the physical, that's even better. If you can use your brain and your mouth to get you out of situations that you don't have to get beat up and fight with, then that's 100% the way we're trying to go. So I make sure that our students understand that we don't fight. We don't start fights. We don't try to get into fights. We if we have to, we use physical to get out of fights. So it's important that they understand the difference and what it means to use martial arts in a self-defense situation. Les, you're on mute.
Ah, yes.
It looked like you were reading something important, though. Let's see what you were talking about.
Work has me moving around too much. You know, I just don't want to waste my teacher's time. The most I would be able to come to class might just be once or twice a month. I know my teacher would just rather have no students instead of a dedicated student who tries to show up when he can. Besides, it's not like I could practice at home for just 5 minutes each day to keep my training skills sharp. You know, we already talked about that, right?
Yep.
We talked about what if it was 7 minutes a day? And sometimes we just love the internet. We just had a blip in the internet, and I was just talking about 7 minutes a day. So the whole idea. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it doesn't take much time invested over time to get where you want to go. The key is to dedicate yourself to it, discipline yourself to it, and do it. It might take longer if you're doing it less, but if you don't do it at all, you're never going to get there. When you make excuses for everything that you do, you're not going to have success in what you're trying to do. So even a little bit is good, right? Even if it's 10 minutes a day, like we talked about. If you can only make it to physical training, once a week or whatever it is, when you're there, get out of it what you can, and then take what you learn and then train outside of being at home. So that way you are still getting benefits from it. Like I said, it might take a little bit longer, but that journey is still going to be worth it once you get there.
Yeah. And then the last one here is kind of funny. I totally know everything already. Man, these chumps don't know anything about real martial arts. Obviously, I know enough to stay alive. I mean, I'm still living on night. If anybody tried to hurt me, I'd just shoot them, stab them, bounce off of my beer belly, or insult their honor online. It's worked thus far. Here's the thing. That kind of person, they're always going to have a response. And guess what? If you want to go through life with a beer belly, then by all means, go through life with a beer belly.
Yep.
I choose to minimize mine as often as I can.
Yep. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but some people have that mindset. They're like, I've already done everything. I don't need to do anything anymore. I already know everything I need to know. I can handle myself if something happens. Nothing's going to happen anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, some people like that, there's no matter what you do, you're not going to change their mind, and it's not really worth it because you're just wasting your time. There's other people out there that you can spend your time on that are willing to decide that they're going to dedicate themselves to this and get themselves better, get themselves healthy, and go. And those are the people that you want to surround yourselves with. The people who have no desire to do anything to better themselves and then, mock other people for it or say that, what they do is the best. Those people they're always going to be like that. And it's not worth your time to spend any time around them. So surround yourself with those who are like you, who want to do the things you want to do, who want to get better and move forward and improve themselves.
Well, I appreciate this conversation. It's always a good reminder. And like I said before, I got injured in basically took and we're having some technical difficulties today. I just had the spinning wheel. So
Yep.
The internet is always not the most stable. But the one thing I realize and that I know is you fall off the horse or something happens, the first thing to do is to figure out how to get back up on it.
Yep.
And, I have a friend that just had a big crash on a motorcycle, got his back fused from T3 all the way down to T10. And yet, guess what? He's still of the mindset, look, I get to say how quickly I heal.
Yep.
Right. I don't need to leave it to somebody that says, well, you'll be, on your back for this long. Are you kidding? 12 days later, he's up and moving.
Yep.
Instead of 30 or 3 weeks. Right. I don't want to be average.
Yep.
So
it's all up here.
I appreciate. Yep. I appreciate it. So anything else for you, Mr. Yarwood, before we ramp it down?
Bottom line, don't make excuses. Excuses are lies you tell yourself to get out of doing things that are hard. When you make excuses for one thing, you're going to start making excuses for everything. You're going to find yourself somewhere you don't want to be and then wonder how you got there. So stop making excuses. Go do the hard things. You'll be better for it.
So I'm curious. I'm looking up where did the origin, like, of the word excuse come from? And An excuse is to free from blame.
Yep. That's what it is.
And, you know, here's the thing. If you take blame and shame out of the game, all there is choice every moment of every day. And my invitation as a coach, and I'd love to hear yours at the end of this. My invitation: get over the blame shame game. Responsibility begins with the willingness to be cause in the matter of one's life. It's nobody else's life; it's yours.
Yep.
And ultimately, it's a context from which one chooses to live moment by moment by moment by moment. And even the people that say, well, God's already preordained my life. Well, as I'm a man of faith, I'll tell you this. He also gave us the freedom to choose.
Yep.
And in that space, I have a choice every day to get up and do something or do nothing. So, over to you.
Yes, sir. No, I agree. We are exactly the choices that we've made. Wherever you are in life, it's all of choices that you've made previous to where you are. And if you're not somewhere that you want to be, you can change that. You just have to make that choice, that decision to move to the better and not to this continue on the direction that you are, because it's not going to get you anywhere. You can keep hoping and guessing and wishing and whatever. Unless you make the right decisions and make the right choices and decide to do the right thing, it ain't going to happen. That's just the way it is. That's how it works. So,
and when it comes to the having an excuse, here's the thing: you can have a justification for not doing anything anytime. Reasons are limitless.
yep.
You can have a reason that you're going to tell the president. You can have a reason that you're going to tell a parent when you see them and they say, how come you wasted your time? Right? Or you could say, you know what? It doesn't matter what the excuses are, and do it anyway.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, with that, thank you, Mr. Yarwood.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the